Good evening. Today is Thursday, March 12th, 2011. I am Apostle W. Peters, and this is the Last Days Ministry. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this broadcast titled, The Government Will Chip You with the Mark of the Beast. During last week's message, I mentioned the interview that Aaron Russo, the author of America, Freedom to Fascism, and the producer of Trading Places, conducted with Alex Jones, in which he revealed some startling information about 9/11, the Council on Foreign Relations, the global elite, and the New World Order on June 17, 2007. Now, Russo was friends with the Rockefeller family, particularly David, and he will be informed about inner secrets such as business ventures, investments, organizations, and future global plans. Now, Russo stated that according to David Rockefeller, the ultimate goal of these people was to create a one-world government run by the banking industry. According to Russo's testimony, the whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. With this happening, there will be no more need for paper money because all money will be on a chip. The chip will then be connected to a global database that keeps track of everything you buy and sell. Now, David Rockefeller is the title of a book called Memoirs. And in chapter 27 on pages 404 and 405 of the book is the following quote. Some believe that we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists and of conspiring with others around the world to bridge a more integrated global and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it. Now, notice how he says some believe that we are part of a secret cabal. The word cabal, by definition, is a number of people united in some close design, usually to promote their private views and interests, often by intrigue. Cabals are sometimes secret societies composed of a few designing persons, and at other times are manifestations of emergent behavior in society or governance on the part of a community of persons who have well-established public affiliation or kinship. The term cabal derives from the Hebrew word Kabbalah, which means either an occult doctrine or a secret. In Evian, France in 1991, David Rockefeller, who was at the apex of the world government power structure, he stood before the Bilderberg Group, who's a group of 125 multi-billionaires that literally run the entire globe. And he defined the New World Order as a system of world government serving the international banking elite. For decades, the banker-owned media would attack anyone who dared to warn the public that a dictatorial world government was being constructed right under their nose, and that national sovereignty was being deliberately destroyed. Now, after years of denial, the media and the elite themselves are proudly announcing not only is world government real, but it is the answer to financial crisis that they carefully engineered. In fact, on December 8, 2008, the Financial Times of London had an article that read, "And now for a world government," which stated that a dictatorial world government had been kept in the shadows for our own good, and that now was time for it to emerge from behind the curtains of national security. Now, State Department Special Envoy Henry Kissinger, who gave President Barack Obama his first job out of college, stated on national television that the economic collapse was a great opportunity to bring in the New World Order, and that Barack Obama was the perfect person to sell it to the world because the acceptance of him is so great around the world. Now, in Revelation chapter 17, verses 10 through 11, it reads, "And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. And the beast that was and is not, even is the 8th, and is of the 7, and going into perdition. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Now, many Bible scholars and theologians agree that the Antichrist will rule the world from Europe. Some are even as specific to say that he will rule from the Vatican, where the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church presides over. And although being done quietly, a genuine European empire is being put together behind the scenes. The present European Union is only a nucleus of the most powerful military, political, and economic empire in the history of mankind. The continental nations of Europe are determined to create a United States of Europe. Now, they are extremely wealthy and are beginning to pass the USA in many ways. Now the European Union, or the EU, today is made up of over 25 countries. However, the 10 nations of the Western European Alliance have a separate status as full members, while those nations who joined subsequent to the original 10 have only associate membership or observer status. Now, this 10-nation military wing of the European Union may very well fulfill the prophecy of the beast with 10 horns from Daniel chapter 7, verses 7 through 8, and Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. Now, believe it or not, there is actually a poster titled The United States of Europe. And this poster portrays the United States of Europe as the Tower of Babel. Now, there are 12 stars that rest at the top of this poster, but the 12 stars are not ordinary stars, but they're upside-down pentagrams, which is the universal symbol for Satanism, which is found on the cover of the Satanic Bible. Now, there's a massive space-age Crystal Palace Tower, officially called the Tower Building, which houses the 5th Parliament of Europe. And the 679 seats of its massive semicircle are designed like the crew seats in the Star Trek space machine. Now, while these seats are allocated to members, there's one seat that remains unallocated and unoccupied. And that seat number is 666. Brothers and sisters, the stage is already set for the Antichrist to be revealed. So you can be confident in knowing that he walks the earth today and will soon be revealed. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the plan of the global elite is to have everyone implanted with the chip that will be run by the international banking elite, who, by the way, controls all the money on the globe. And for the sake of those who may not believe that the mark of the beast or the mark of the government, because the beast is symbolic for a government in Bible prophecy, for those who don't believe that the mark of the beast is actually this RFID chip that the global elite wants to implant in you, then consider this. Revelation chapter 16, verse 2 says, "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image." In other words, the chip will cause malignant ulcers. Now, I'm going to read a small excerpt from an interview that Dr. Carl Sanders, who is the inventor of the RFID chip, that he conducted. All right? And for those of you watching the video playback, you can see the link to the website at the bottom of the screen. In a joint venture, General Electric, Motorola, and the U.S. government worked on a project to create an implantable chip that will positively locate anyone who wears it. And Dr. Carl Sanders led the project over 100 scientists, and their initial mission was to create a microchip that could adjust or change